Welcome to another episode of Inspiring Our Shared World. Ruben, you have a great guest today.
Yeah, I'm very happy to introduce Garret Williamson from Personal Edge Fitness out of Mobile, Alabama.
All right, Garret, take it. What's going on down there?
Well, the weather as usual, but other than that, some wonderful things here at our facilities enhancing people's lives.
So tell us a little bit about what you do on a day-to-day basis.
That's typically my favorite question, so I appreciate you asking me. So, we Personal Edge Fitness is a one-on-one and two-on-one personal training facility. We have a few facilities down here in the southeast, and we pretty well do everything in fitness and sport that's not illegal, immoral, or fattening. We've taught people to walk again. We've got about 16 scholarships to our name, and pretty much everything in between. Our youngest client is 11. Our most senior client is 95. Median age is 39, but 35% of our clientele is over the age of 70. And basically, what do we spend our time doing? And that is pretty much making these people feel better about being themselves.
That's definitely one of our inspired shared world concepts is feeling good about yourself and extending that even further. Ruben, why is it that you really picked this team to talk about today?
Well, aside from being one of our customers for a long time, I really appreciate the charity work that Personal Edge Fitness does. As a veteran myself, I really love when people get involved with charities like they have with the Wounded Warriors in Action and Operation Shoebox.
Garret, tell us a little bit more about that charity give back that you guys use as your concept.
Sure. More than glad to speak about that. It's one of the joys of what we do. First and foremost, this community has been wonderful to us. I mean, we've been in business here for 22 years, and that's a lot of times that's unheard of as far as personal training is concerned. So we want to do what we can to give back in those areas where we can make a difference. And two of them, they're near and dear to our hearts, are of course Wounded Warriors in Action and Operation Shoebox, which we've done for a few years now. I don't think you can do enough for our service members. I mean, the whole reason that I get to live in a free country and do what I do is because of the sacrifices that our men and women in uniform make. And if we can do something to give back to them, of course, we're going to dive at that chance. Wounded Warrior in Action is a great organization. They're actually dedicated to enhancing the lives of our servicemen and women, our Purple Heart recipients, through outdoor sporting activities. It's a bit different, everything from fishing to hunting and what have you. And not only do they do these events all over the nation, we happen to have a client that actually hosted an event where they had Purple Heart recipients coming down to this area, and not only going out and getting involved in fishing and also hunting, but it becomes somewhat of a therapy session when they're around the campfire speaking to individuals who've been in different wars that have had a lot of the same experiences. It's pretty amazing to see. And so we actually did a workout annually where we actually it's a pretty much a hit training workout that most anybody can do, and have not only our staff but also past staff members and some of our interns help us out. And all of the money goes to not just Wounded Warriors in Action, but that particular event. Because of our involvement with them over the years, they've been able to add two other events, and so that was something that meant a lot to us, be involved with them. Operation Shoebox is one we did for quite a few years, especially when our military was very active overseas as far as different engagements that we had going on at the time. This actually started very near and dear to our facility because my brother-in-law was involved. He's a Marine, and he was involved overseas, and we wanted to do whatever we could to support them. Operation Shoebox is a program actually done by the U.S. Postal Service where you can pretty well pack a shoebox type box. They actually have special boxes for it with different supplies that they need, and they actually give you a list. And so we not only wanted to do it ourselves, my wife and I and some of our family members, but we opened it up to our facility, and the response was incredible. We had just a rather large container, sort of like a ice chest size, a good size ice chest size, set up at the facility, hoping that we could get maybe about halfway fill or something in a couple 3 days. It was filled in a matter of 2 hours, and we ended up filling up pretty much the entire foyer of our facility with gifts to them. We ended up sending the first shipment we sent over 22 boxes overseas. And there were some pretty unique stories that came out of those. There was a client of ours that actually had just been shopping and looked at the list and went out to her car, brought all of her shopping bags inside, and dumped all of them into the boxes. And we looked at her kind of funny. She said, "Listen, I've still got the list of these items. I can go back to the store, and a lot of those items are on your list. So I want y'all to have all of it." One of the things in that bag was some duct tape, and down here in the South, we think that you can pretty well fix everything with duct tape. So, but the interesting thing about that roll of duct tape is that one of the members of my brother-in-law's unit actually put it in his sack that he carried with him. And they ended up, this is a true story, they actually ended up behind enemy lines. And they had everything they could fix their Humvee with except for one thing, which was a fan belt. And they'd broken a fan belt. They used that duct tape to duct tape a fan belt and were able to get out of harm's way.
Wow.
So I hope you don't mind me sharing that story. That meant a lot to us. But obviously, these are programs that have been near and dear to us, as well as, animal rescue is one of our big things. My wife and I have been involved in animal rescue for 26 years. She happens to be the director of Save a Stray. And because of that, my wife spends her time, we spend our time enhancing people's lives and making them feel better about being themselves. My wife spends her time completing families. And we are so pet friendly or involved in that even our directors can bring their dogs to work. Now that's probably more than you want to hear about it, but you hit on one of my favorite subjects, and that is what we get to give back to the community.
Well, the give back is so near and dear to the Sports Art brand. I mean, it's part of your core values, and you guys share the same thing of pet-friendly environment. Pets are part of the family. But what really warms my heart about what you're saying, Garret, is just the love and the sunshine that you're bringing together on a daily basis. I mean, you've got these charity events, but your personality, it just emits warmth. And that's probably why people love you. That's why you're in business. It's right,
Absolutely,
Ruben?
absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, the old saying about that if you love what you do, you never go to work one day in your life. And the gift I've been given of having the opportunity to, one thing, go to work every day in tennis shoes. I mean, come on. I never thought that would actually happen. And but to get the honor and the pleasure of actually enhancing not only our clients' lives, but also those staff members that have been with us for 15 years, 8 years, 7 years, 2 years, what have you. That's a real blessing. And to who that much is given, I think that phrase probably better than I'm saying it. Much is expected, and as far as the giving back, that's our way of repaying that debt.
Ruben, was there anything else you wanted to ask Garret? Because this is just such a wealth of joy and charity work they're doing.
Absolutely. So you work with donation blood centers, you work with Saving Pets, you work with Wounded Warriors in Action, you work with Operation Shoebox, and you've got a podcast. Where do you find time for all of this?
That's a great question.
It's in the fitness world that especially in the personal training business, it's not a 9 to 5, and sometimes I do wonder that, but I've got several things on my side. One thing, I have a fantastic functioning facility that's strategically planned, and as far as our business is concerned, some fantastic operations manual with an incredible staff. They like to celebrate when the months that I go on vacation, they always say are the best months financially in the facility. So they make it run so well that it allows me the time. And then I have, of course, a very forgiving and loving wife. That does help a lot. So, but it's a labor of love. So I can't find it to be, I can't say it's too challenging.
Well, you know all about the love, and Sports Art brings that to light every single day. It's nice to highlight those partnerships and those relationships that you've nurtured over the years that are doing just the same thing that you guys are. Garret, we want to thank you. Is there anything else you want to share with us about your amazing facility?
Yeah, if you don't mind, the fact that you've brought up Sport Art a few times, I like our potential members to know that is that is something very important to us as far as our equipment is concerned, mainly because of, picking the right equipment because it matches our staff. We have the most qualified staff in the Southeast. Every one of our staff members for 22 years have all possessed at minimum a bachelor's degree in the field of either exercise science, physiology, kinesiology, sport medicine, or athletic training. And if I'm going to have that quality of staff, I'm going to have the tools that they need to put together the best programs for our clientele. But for that, I'm going to need a company that has spent time in ergonomics. And yes, I want it to work. Yes, I want it to last. Yes, I want it to look good. But most important, my staff is going to know the difference in functionality, and therefore that's going to greatly affect how they can train our clients. The other thing is and it's a thank you to you guys, the response that I get when I need something, and you don't need it yesterday, you need it 2 days ago, and Sport Arts has been fantastic about it, which is why we've dealt with so many years. I couldn't let it go without saying something about that because that's a large part of why we're successful.
Well, success is a partnership, and we're sharing this inspired world together. Let's keep going.